Hello and welcome to this presentation for this technology integration plan for James Madison High School, the Career and Technical Education Department. My name is Joshua Villarreal and I will be walking you through the strategic plans designed specifically for the CTE department here at this school. A quick introduction of the school. James Madison is a public 9 through 12 high school located in San Antonio, Texas with approximately 3,600 students, which is located in the NEISD Northeast Independent School District here in San Antonio. Some of the goals of this strategic plan was to increase the communication strategies within the CTE department, to increase collaboration methods within the CTE department, and to prepare for any departmental changes for the upcoming 2017-2018 school year. Now, the goals of the strategic plan were designed by the stakeholders of this plan, members of the actual CTE department, and the rationale was that House Bill 5 here in the state of Texas was passed in the last few years, and it's going to heavily affect the structure of the CTE department and the courses that they're being offered. Some of those details include now that all high school seniors will graduate with a specific endorsement in a content area within the CTE realm. And this has changed tremendously because it's no longer just the number of credits, is that the students actually have to pick what they want to quote unquote major in high school. And also one of the big concerns from the department is the miscommunications, meetings being missed, the lack of collaborative participation when documents are shared and they need feedback from everyone. So the goals are listed there, and the rationale for why this plan was being created is because of the House Bill 5 and just some of the inner workings of the departmental structure that are currently there. The first thing that we wanted to do was, aside from gaining feedback, we needed to identify what members would be involved. The list here includes the main stakeholders, which include the department chair, Michael Soto, and down the list, it includes various different CTE teachers, some of which are veterans, some are newer to the program, and a big help here in Dave Mullenix, who is the campus technology specialist, who will be helping us decide if the technology is feasible when it comes to implementation. The stakeholders gathered and decided that what they wanted was a new vision statement for the department, and that statement is listed here on the right. And their statement says that it is the goal of the James Madison High School CTE department to challenge and encourage students to demonstrate academic excellence through technical skills that will prepare them for a career after high school. It is the vision of James Madison High School to foster learning environments that give students real-world experiences through hands-on and project-based learning. We will focus on developing student graduation plans that endorse career and technical education. Now, in order to do an evaluation such as this, the right questions need to be asked. And those questions were here on the left side. These were determined by the stakeholders that what technology is currently being used to complete everyday tasks regarding communication and collaboration. This was done through surveys and meetings and interviews to see what is being used and how is it being used. And then with those recommendations, second question states, so what are the recommendations for any technology that needs to change? Is something lacking? Is there something that the department feels needs to be implemented and added to the current structure to make things better? And how will these technology recommendations be evaluated? Just because somebody has a great idea does not mean it's going to work. Are there obstacles? Are there issues with its implementation? And that leads us to the fourth one is, if there are issues, can they be resolved? Is this a feasible recommendation? Can this actually be done? And again, the way that this data was collected, all data was collected through a variety of methods, some of it being a survey that was sent out and conducted with all stakeholders. They have ongoing and recurring meetings. The district standards were analyzed to see, were there rules already in place about what could or could not be done? Basic group discussion, and then an evaluation of the main stakeholders after everything was said and done about whether or not this was an actual plan that can be done. Now, the two big goals that were identified was not, they wanted a broader goal. It wasn't just going to be, we want this technology. The goals needed to be, what can we improve to make this department better, more ready for any other changes that come up, not just the short-sighted ones. And the goal number one was to create an effective communication plan that dictates a specific software to be utilized. Now, this was mentioned because currently a lot of the stakeholders use different variety of methods when it comes to communication, and a lot of times not certain people check their Google email. Certain people don't check their Outlook email. So things were going missed and miscommunicated. And as a team, it was decided that they do want to stick with Outlook. It's the preferred method of the district, but they wanted to integrate something else. And they looked at several management systems and they learned that with Canvas being the recommended LMS that they want to go with, was that Canvas actually talks back and forth with Outlook, that calendars can be shared with one another, that emails that go to one can go to the other, they can be connected together. And Canvas, as I'll get into in a few minutes, has a lot more added features than what's just on the surface. And goal number 2 is create an effective collaboration process by which stakeholders utilize shared information. And this was another problem, was that a lot of times things need to be done together. Things need to be decided upon, and we were missing the mark. And in this case, they recommended the utilization of Microsoft OneDrive, which is an extension or an add-on to Outlook, and also Canvas itself to collaborate. Now, the ideas don't go without the question of what does this cost us? Outlook and OneDrive are already softwares that are a part of the district. They're already included in the budget. It's just more of a how can we restructure how these things are used. Canvas, being a big one, does have an initial cost of training of $1,500, and then it does have a recurring annual cost of $8,000 to have the number of students that are currently enrolled in CTE courses, and what it would take to keep them, in Canvas year after year. The implementation timeline is huge. Just a quick overview. In the fall is when a lot of this currently is already going on with the strategic planning, the evaluation of current issues, what technology is already here, and what are the recommendations. After those are approved, in the spring, it's the hope that we can create a pilot program for 1 to 3 CTE teachers and give the training necessary in the spring to prepare for the upcoming school year. Summer will be an evaluation time of the pilot program if any changes need to be made to the implementation plan overall, and the meat of the training with the face-to-face training in Canvas, and then in fall 2018 to fully implement this technology plan. Now, instead of the simple implementation, the question pops up was, well, how do we know if what we're doing is successful? And these are the different methods. Is the survey data will be looked at. There'll be consistent surveys after the first semester, at the end of the year, and it will not just be the teachers surveyed, but the students as well. Is this restructure, is this implementation plan benefiting everyone? Are our scores going up? Are we improving? The analytics that something like a Canvas LMS provides will give teachers and the department chair insight into, how much is a teacher using this technology that's been given to them? How much are students using it? How are their scores looking? And then meetings will be the obvious one, in that the department meets every month. Updates will be given. Issues can be discussed and resolved. And it's through these methods of evaluation that we can determine if this plan was successful. And just one last piece is that, to improve the communication and collaboration is huge. But there's just so many other benefits in this. Canvas itself can provide several LTI training contents with things like atomic learning, and they can have plugins where training for students and teachers can be assigned through that LMS. It can be completed as courses. It can be tracked and analyzed to see, how well are we doing? Is what needs to be done learned? Is it being learned? Canvas provides a professional learning community where teachers can share not just basic information, but entire courses that they're creating, and then just the analytical part that's built into Canvas already. And then Microsoft OneDrive, although already available, barely used by teachers, but the utilization of it will give students and teachers online access to all Office software for free. They can access this from anywhere. They have an online storage. It doesn't restrict the students and teachers to only working at school, but to take this outside of the classroom, into home, things like that. So aside from improving communication and collaboration, these are just other benefits, and these are huge. These are just, a quick overview, but, given more time, I can explain, why the OneDrive and Canvas can work so well together to not just improve those initial learning goals, but to improve student success all around. and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this presentation. Look forward to the implementation and success of the strategic plan.